What's going on, everyone, and welcome back. Today we are going to be working on play mode stuff. So we're going to be able to enter play mode and be able to exit back out of it to edit mode. Now, this episode I am not prepared at all. I've had a lot of stuff going on this week, and I just went in and did some little play mode graphics, and literally that's it. I have not even really thought about what I'm doing because it's a fairly easy process, but we may run into some things that we may have to change or move around or whatever, but we'll see how that works. If there's time at the end, may possibly maybe go into input or something. I don't know. We'll see. Alright. So I know that we're going to be working on menu bar. So I have it pulled up and I have editor pulled up. I did create the GUI skins. So I just went ahead and did that in advance. So that's what I have down. Okay, let's see here. The first thing is we're going to need a Boolean in the editor just so that we know if we're in play mode or not. So let's go private static. I don't want a Boolean, so a byte, and we'll just do playing equals 0. And let's see here, put it right here. That way it's right above render, because we're going to be messing with render as well. I'm going to make it so that whenever we're in play mode, only the menu bar shows, and the rest of the screen is going to be the render screen, just so that we don't have all the other crap going on. Okay, so let's do public static void play. We'll put a Boolean in here and say should play. That way we can work around it, and we only need one function to play and stop. So we could just call that and then pass in whether it should play or not. So if we should play, then what I want to do is I want to save the scene before I do anything. So save scene, scene manager dot current scene. Yes, surround with try-catch. So in here, let's just remove that. Let's add a little statement in here. We'll say debug.log could not could not save current scene. Play mode could not be started. There. So if for some reason save scene does not work, which it should always work, but just in case it doesn't, it's going to tell us in our debug that the current scene could not be saved, and that since it couldn't be saved, we couldn't go into play mode. So after this, let's set okay, I just named it playing. Playing equals 1. And right here, else. So if we should not be playing and we should be stopping, then we want to call scene manager dot load scene manager dot current scene, and then we want to set playing to equal 0. I'm using you pud. Maybe it's just because I'm not calling the function yet. We'll see. Menu bar. So at the end of what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a play button at the end of the menu bar. Now later on, whenever we get into more, I don't know, other stuff, I may add a toolbar, just like how it is here. I may add a toolbar underneath it. But for right now, it'll be fine just putting it at the end of the menu bar. It'll work. So, right at the end, right? Yeah, right at the end of where the menu bar is rendering. What we need to do is we need to, well, first we need to get the styles. Let's see here, box empty, private GUI style, play, private GUI style stop. And right here we'll just go ahead and get these. So stop equals editor dot skin dot get, I called it play mode. Oh, stop play. What am I doing? Here we'll go stop equals editor dot skin dot get stop button. Wait, I didn't name that play mode, I named it play button. Duh. Alright, so then that will get our styles for us. Now we actually need to use them. Alright. So here we will just go ahead and we'll go ahead and get the style. So GUI style equals play. Is that what I called it? Play and stop, right? Yeah. So we'll go ahead, now let's go ahead and set it to stop because we're going to be in. Oh, no, yeah. God, I'm a freaking retard. Yeah, set it to play because the first thing we want it to have is the play thing. I was thinking start it out in play mode. I don't know what I'm thinking. Okay, here we need to say Boolean is playing equals editor dot is, I didn't make a, public static Boolean is playing, which is going to return is playing. Is that what I called it? No, I just called it playing. Playing. Let's call this final. Return playing equals 1. There. Editor dot is playing. There we go. So now we know whether or not it is playing. So if we are playing, so if is playing, then I want to set the style to stop. There we go. So this is basically just an easy way to go ahead and start a style and then set it to one or the other depending on a condition. And also the reason why we're using this Boolean instead of just saying if editor.isPlaying right here instead of caching the Boolean is because when we call the play method, we can pass in the negative version or the reverse version of this Boolean. So that's the reason why we're caching that out. Okay, so now we can go ahead and draw the button. So if GUI.button new, wait, no, I don't want any of that. Don't want a string because, well, we're not stringing anything. And let's see here. Offset minus index. Offset minus index 0. That's 30. 30, 30. And we're going to pass in style and style. So if we click that button, then we're just going to call editor.play and then pass in not is playing. So it's basically just going to pass in the reverse of this Boolean. And that right there should do it, correct? Let's see. Oh, that's a big button. We're gonna have to change that. So yeah, it works just like it should, except for we're having some flipping issues. I mean, it's not really an issue, but it doesn't hurt anything. Just like flips the hierarchy. That's weird, but it still works the same. Let's see here. Let's add a little bit so it's not so right up on it. Let's make this 16, 16, and 8. see how that looks. Alright, that's a lot better. Now we don't have a box rendering in the background, but it's whatever, it still works. So yeah, that'll work nicely for now. Okay. So that should be it for the menu bar. We'll see about that. Oh yeah, right here. So whenever we're rendering it, render right here. Say if playing equals 0. So if we're not playing, then we can render those. If not, it will not render it. Debug.draw. Let's move that in there too. Wait, no. No. We need the debug window. Now it's not going to render at full screen. What it's going to do is just render right there in the middle. So we'll have to fix that as well. Alright, so if we push it, everything stops rendering around it. We got the menu bar, we got the debug window. Awesome. So now we need to draw it at full screen. So in core, UI.prepare editor.render, render.render. Okay. There it is. If editor dot is playing, and else render dot render. Copy this and place it right there. What do we got in application? Do we have anything set up in there? Got width, height. Okay. So we know we want the width. So we'll do application.width. We need it to start rendering at 0 on the X. Still need the 30. So we'll keep the height as is. Right? No. No, that's wrong because of the whatever it's called. This, the assets window. Uh, 260, 30, 30. I think it did 60, right? Be 30 for the menu bar, 30 for the Debug. Yeah, there we go. So this is how it'll look in play mode. Well, because technically we are in play mode at this very second in time. Then you hit stop, it goes back. Awesome. Alright, so now we have the window rendering like how it's supposed to. Okay, so next we need to actually get objects to start calling. Well, game objects to start calling an update function on whatever scripts are attached to them. So I don't know if we ever set that up. Prepare game objects. All right. Prepare to render. Let's change that to prepare to render. Prepare to render. And we'll copy this. Copy. And paste. Instances g dot update. Yeah, that'll work for now. Later we're going to use the hierarchical calling, possibly. Hell, I don't know. We'll see. I don't even know if that would even matter. But, yeah. So, right here we'll go public void update. Alright, so here is the update function. And we're basically going to be doing this so that we can actually do some copy and pasting. So we're going to scroll through all the components. We're going to get the component that we're currently iterating to. We're not going to worry about this. We need component.update. There we go. So the reason why we're splitting it off like this and having two loops in the prepare objects is because the first thing we want to do with all the game objects in the scene is we want to update all of the game objects in the scene. And then after they're all updated, that's when we're going to start the rendering process, so we have to loop through all of it again. And that's why we have it separated like this, because we don't want this loop to be, or like these and here, because let's say you update a game object here, but then the next game object changes the position of the object that we just rendered. Well, it's not going to render the way it's supposed to or in the position that it's supposed to because it was updated after it was rendered. So that's the reason why we have to do it this way. So now we have the ability to update all the game objects and all of the scripts attached to those game objects before we render it. And for now we do have I believe. Yes. We do have a test script, and it is inside of this package, which I don't really... I mean, we're going to keep it this way because eventually we're going to add the ability to add custom scripts and stuff to our workspace. And yeah, so it'll be like inside of here. There'll be a scripts folder. So you can, whenever you're running the actual build of the engine, you can add scripts that way. But we're also going to keep the package, or a package in here with whatever scripts you want to add in from your IDE. Because whenever we start doing the custom scripts from outside of it, you'll be able to use other IDEs to make your scripts. But how I'm going to be using it is Notepad++, and I don't know how we're going to end up doing all that stuff, but we're going to leave that in here. So don't worry about having this game package with a test script in here, because whenever you build it, it'll get built with it. So right here, say public, doesn't need, I don't know if it needs to be public, but public void update. No, void update. No, it's not going to let me. Well, screw you then. So inside of our update function, let's say game object dot rotation game object dot rotation plus time dot delta time times 10. That sounds good, right? I don't know why I'm like continuously adding this. Why? I hate it that it does not allow me. Like, it keeps that extra one at the end. So this right here, this will take our current rotation and it will add the time it took between the last frame and this frame and multiply it by 10. So basically saying we're going to rotate, we're going to rotate 10 times every second. That's basically what that's saying. Or something like that. I don't know. We'll figure it out. My brain is obviously not working right now. Let's just see what happens. So, oh, it is up. It's already updating. What's going on? You shouldn't be updating yet. Render core editor.isPlaying. Oh no, we did this wrong. If editor.isPlaying, then we're going to do this. Okay, I already have that set. It changed my value. I'll have to figure out why that is. Because that should just be 90. We'll see what happens. So if I push play, then it starts rotating. Okay, it's not 10 times per second, but I don't even really want to think about it. Rotating 10 degrees every second, I guess. So then it's rotated. If I hit play, it goes back to how it should. But we don't have that. So whenever it starts rotating like this and it's in play mode, if we hit stop, then it's inspecting the old Tutti Frutti and not the new one. Alright. We're 30 minutes in. Let me take a look at it. Okay. So here's where we put the inspected. So I have not messed with this yet, but I know this should be fine. So if we set inspected and then just pass in null, I.set attributes. So no, because it's going to keep. Okay, here we go. So let's go if O, no, not 0, O. Does not equal null. There we go. So if O does not equal null, then set the attributes. And here, selected equals G, object equals G. Okay, set selected. So whenever we hit, we need to pull that back up. Menu bar. Or wait, no, it might not be in menu bar. Where in the world did I put it? After everything's rendered, right here. Editor.play is playing. Well, you probably, there it is. So whenever it stops, I'm going to load the scene. And I completely lost what I'm doing. Hold on just a second. Okay, I was talking about set selected. Oh, Jesus. Set selected, and then pass in null. Oh, Jesus. My brain is not going great. Alright, that should do it. It should deselect whatever was selected to begin with. So let's click on that. Oh, well, look at there. It's already, I didn't give it a weird value this time. starts rotating, rotates back, deselects. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, there we go. So that allows us to go in and out of play mode effectively. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. And as you can tell, how I told you... Test. Oh, jeez. You can use time.delta time like how we created in the last episode. That is how you just move things throughout a frame smoothly. You can do this with scale. You can do it with just about anything. You can do time dot get time. Alright, so this is just going to rotate it as fast as the current time. No, it's not. I need to multiply it by time dot delta time. So this gets the current time, so it's just going to continuously tick up and up and up and up and up. And then it's just going to multiply it by time. So it'll just continuously get faster and faster and faster and faster. And currently our time, whenever we get the time, it starts as soon as this window opens, which we don't want that. We want time to work depending on our play mode whenever we hit play mode. So we're going to have to change that in the future. Because get time shouldn't return the time of the editor window. Alright. So I think I'm just going to leave it at that. It's kind of a shorter episode than what we've been doing, but I was initially wanting 30 minutes anyway, so. Well, that finishes play mode, and next week we will move into input. I wanted to do it at the end of this episode, but it's whatever. It's not like it's really that difficult. There's two different kinds of input, though. We have like the keyboard, which is being able to use like Control D, Control Shift T, whatever, which is good for like shortcut stuff. So we'll be using shortcut stuff in the editor as well, so we can just hit like Control S and it will save the scene, Control D to duplicate game objects that are in the scene and stuff like that. So we will have that class separate from the actual input class, like if input dot get button D or whatever. That's going to be something different. That'll be for like in-game stuff, for like checking if we hit the jump button or the shoot button or whatever it is. And the actual full keyboard class we're going to use for shortcuts and for like stuff like this, so that we're not, whenever we get into actual instead of using pop-ups for our text windows or text areas, we'll be using the keyboard class for that, and setting carets and blah de blah de blah, whole bunch of other crap. So I'm gonna stop blabbing about random crap, and I will see you guys on the next episode. All right, stay safe.